integration example. So I have an integration to do, which is this. X squared minus pi. So this is my integration. So first of all, first step, I factor out the pi inside the radical sign. I factor out the pi like this. So you can double check. Pi multiply this gives you x squared. Pi multiply -1 gives you negative pi. So next step, I break this square root into two parts. Square root pi multiply square root of this bracket. So and I have a square root. Okay. Now, this part, I have x squared over pi. But pi can be written square root pi times another square root pi, right? So this is square root pi squared. You agree? Then I can use a bracket. X divided by square root pi, the whole thing squared. No problem, right? So I rewrite this in this way. Okay. X square root pi and another square root. Then inside this is replaced by this. Oops. Okay. Now the next, I look at this part. I look at this part. This part is dx divided by square root pi. If you are familiar with differential, then you know that this can be written as dx over this. Do you follow? If you don't follow, then I give you this example. Suppose you have dx over 2. Do you know that this can be written as dx over 2? Do you know this? So if you know this, then this is the same as that. In other words, this can be written as this. If you still don't know this, let's do this. The derivative of x over 2. What is the derivative of x over 2? It is 1 over 2 derivative of x. Yeah, it's this, right? Now, you cancel the dx. You cancel the dx. Then this is dx over 2. So the differential of x over 2 is the differential of x divided by 2, which is this. Okay. Actually, this comes from the derivative. Therefore, this part is using this. This part is this. And this can be written as that. So I write d, just a minute. So I write d x over root pi. And to make it clear, I put a bracket. Then this goes up to the numerator now, and I have x left. So this is what I have. Now look, I have x over root pi. Here I have x over root pi. But here I have only x. I want to make this x over root pi. So how do I do that? X over root pi. So here I have x. Okay. X over root pi square minus 1. Okay. I said I have x over root pi, x over root pi. I like to make this x over root pi. How do I do that? Okay. I divide by root pi. I multiply by root pi. Then you see I have x over root pi, x over root pi, x over root pi. First of all, I move this outside the integral sign. This is 1 over root pi. Understand? 1 over root pi. Now this is moved outside the integral sign. Then inside I have I just copy it. And bracket square minus 1. Okay, I have this. Now I use a trick. I call this u. U here, u here, u here. Then I let u equals x over root pi. Then this becomes u now. U here, u here, u here. All right, I have this. Then, what is the integral of this? What is the integration of this? Then I use a formula. The formula says, just look at the formula in the textbook. square root u squared minus 1. From the textbook, I have the integration formula, which this is just secant inverse u plus constant. So this is the formula I have. So I just use the formula. Then my result is u. Okay. Then finally, I replace this u by x over root pi. X over square root pi. This is my final answer. Do you follow my work? This is my phone number. If you have any question, just text message me and I try my best to answer your question. This is the end of this integration.